Look behind you. This is one of our Make-A-Wish families.
Oh, that's great.
Susanita is a 5-time cancer survivor.
Oh my God, that's a story to tell, huh?
Yeah.
Beautiful. So welcome to Capturando Voces. This is actually, I guess, a line of different actually interviews in your Make-A-Wish foundations. So I'm gonna go through a little bit of the script because I have planned, like as you guys were known, different interviews, about 20 different interviews, and one after the other one. So it's kind of like, but again, we might go out of a script. This is again for everybody that's in the conversation. This is the first time that I met you,
Yes.
so it's not like, oh my God, like they know each other for like 3 months, 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So of course, we want to make sure that everybody's always comfortable with our conversations, right? So to begin with, again, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we can go through the other questions.
Okay.
So introduce yourself, and then a little bit of your work, if you don't mind.
Okay. My name is Gina Lockhausen. I've been in El Paso for 30 years. I formerly owned the Art Galleria, frame shop and gallery, which is what led me to a lot of the artist community, of course, in El Paso, including Creative Kids. I gave them their first show before they had a building. I'm
Okay.
aging myself here.
That's wonderful.
I spent a decade developing a therapeutic art program, painting with children while they went through treatment for acute and chronic illness. I met a couple of ladies opening a gallery, and I had not myself finished a painting in those 10 plus years. And so I stepped back into painting again, and when the opportunity presented itself and they wanted to do something community driven, I said, could we reach out to Make-A-Wish?
Okay.
So
And
it
it
just
was
was
actually-
full circle,
Right.
coming back
It's
to
something
the,
that you definitely believe in.
yes,
and-
yes, yeah.
So I guess one of the first questions, right, that we can talk about, again, Art Sub Collective, Make-A-Wish, being here in the International Museum of Art, right? It's like 3, 4 different parts coming together to create this beautiful story, right? And developing on it. So the first question that I have for you is, like, to begin, who was the first person to believe in your artistic talent, and how did that influence your path?
Oh, the first person that believed in my artistic talent would have to be me. My father was very creative, and it drove my mother crazy. She did not want me to delve into the arts at all. So,
Okay.
but it was not something I could not do. I had to
Yeah.
do it.
You felt that within yourself.
Yeah. And I went into the direction of textiles and studied fashion design, and textile drew me in, and textiles shows up in my work.
Right. Dress, well, the pants, and then ours. Interesting. So I guess another question is, what technique do you most enjoy working with, and how did you discover it?
I really love oil painting, and I've been away from it for so long, and we could not use it in the hospital setting at all.
Okay.
So
Is it because of the smell, the permeation?
yeah, it's got a lot of chemicals, and you can't open windows and have fresh air.
Okay.
So for 12 years, I've been working mostly with acrylics. Now I've been taking a couple of the courses with Christina Robbins to get my feel back for
Into
the oil paintings.
oil
Yeah.
painting. That's amazing. That's interesting. How does life in the border in El Paso influence your artistic inspiration?
Oh my gosh, the colors and the young people here, they're very passionate about the culture and the music, just all of it. There's a passion here. I'm from Austin, and there was a lot of passion about music there also, and just truly the bright colors and the celebratory feel that you get from the artists here, and the
because I think it's a blend, right? Because of course there's a lot of heritage,
Yeah.
a lot of culture, right? But then if it's a mash of like different cultures coming in, and then I think as artists, I think artists in El Paso, right? They can explore and fly with it, right? Because they can actually they're allowed to do whatever. I remember like one person talking because I do poetry, and it says like do what you want. Like it's not a standard of anything.
Yes.
Like so you want to experiment with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you probably found here in El Paso, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people like doing their own.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My late brother, his brother-in-law is teaching sculpture at the community college now, working, and he just moved here from New York, um, teaching metalworks and watching my niece, my brother's youngest, watching her create in ceramics. She does things that I'm like, you should be working on a movie set. They're just the coolest, weirdest, amazing things. Yeah.
That's amazing. I guess, do you prefer to plan when you're working, right? Like on your own work, prefer to plan each detail before creating,
No.
or you just let everything flow
Yeah, it's
completely?
Yeah.
That's an artist's path, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I know some people like, and I think I have talked to different people, right? Like sometimes maybe, it's a collaboration. Someone says, I need this type of painting, right? And there's maybe, I guess guidelines and things like that, right? But I guess sometimes that, of course, as an artist, is something that, make a profit, right?
Right.
But at the same time, it's maybe something limits your
Yeah.
creativity, on the wishes of the artist.
Yeah.
If you do the other way.
I did 3 portraits for a friend this Christmas of her daughters, and I actually found that so very difficult because I didn't know what parameters I needed to stay within. Yeah.
The parameters and
Yeah.
everything. That's interesting, yeah. Tell us about the piece you're showing today. What story, idea, or emotion lies behind it, and any of
Okay. Well, so my collaborative piece that's on the other wall was based on the ladies in the dresses.
Okay.
And so we did a gala style painting for Make-A-Wish. And so we had a room full of Make-A-Wish families, and everybody made their own person that's at a gala, and we collaged it together.
And this is,
Because we want to celebrate life. That's what a gala is. We are celebrating life. We are celebrating the lives we're living. We're celebrating the lives of people that have gone on. I've myself have lost my mother and brother in the last 10 years to
to hear that.
cancer, and I want to celebrate everything.
and that can be very complex, right? In the field that, well, when you have been, right? Of, surrounding yourself, helping people, and then it hits home, right? And I think
Yeah.
that can be very, very, very challenging thing to create. From that point, also create and trying to help. I think that can be helpful.
And I think as human beings, we want to be needed and helpful and
Have a
if you
purpose.
have a purpose, yeah, have
Definitely,
a purpose,
yes.
and humans are creative creatures no matter what. Whether you're planting a garden or writing poetry or painting, like we are creative beings, and so
Right.
if you're being creative and it's helping you and helping someone else, it just makes for a better life and special moments.
Special moments, definitely. And I guess what you were saying, right? What do you hope the audience feels or reflects upon when they see your work? Do you even think about it, like what people will feel or think about your work, or you just naturally just do what comes through your heart and emotions, and then
Oh, well,
because as an
I-
artist, sometimes
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
will they like it, not like it,
I definitely can self-criticize, but joy. I want
people to have joy.
Yeah, I want somebody to look at it and, even if they don't want it in their house, I want it to give them a minute of joy. Let them laugh.
Yeah. Okay, that's amazing. Joy, and also joy, as once you feel it's as one of the things like emotions, right? That they're very, they pass on, right? Like if someone at home and they're very joyful, right? Or you have something that it brings you joy, like it's a seed, right? That
Yeah.
gets on with everybody. Do you have any special memory or experience tied to the creation of any of these pieces in particular? Every single one?
You're, the simplest one here, um, this one, which it was myself and some other mothers with teenage daughters standing in a parking lot at a local high school, and I just kind of sketched it quickly, and it's just
It's
that
a
one.
flirty moment that
Yeah,
got
yeah,
plasmated in something.
and I know the story. I know her story. I know her. Like each one had something going on that was quite significant. But we were all there to basically to make mums.
Right.
Yeah, to make mums for the homecoming.
For the homecoming.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. So what we're gonna do right now is a special dynamic, right? It's a box of questions, right? You can get one question, two questions. It's actually 50 questions total, right? I kind of created the questions. I don't know which one is which one, right?
Okay.
So let me see. So this is the questions, and you can read it, and then we'll go through the process.
It's in Spanish. Oh wait, there it
It's
is.
Spanish and English, yes.
What does transformation represent to you in your artistic path? Transformation. I don't know.
Well, put it in a way, right? Like, I mean, is your style the same that it was 20, 30 years ago? Has it
Absolutely
changed?
not. Yeah.
So in that, because I mean, of course, as a humans, right, we evolve, we change, modify, right? And that's something that I've been writing. It's called the spiral, right? So even though we go through the same emotions, we experience more, right? Like
Right.
it's even like the first relationship compared to the 10 relationship, right? It might be as a friends, right? We mature, we learn knowledge, right? We do things similar, but sometimes we change. So that's a transformation in a way, right?
Okay.
So how do you feel like in the art, like
Okay.
you have noticed that?
I can look at pieces that I did in say 1995, and there's a sadness, and then I see some. I'll look at somebody's, and I'm like, oh, that looks like something I did in when I was going through, and
A period of time.
yeah, and it looks angry to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can definitely see the blues, and I have ended up finding joy, and which is crazy because all the different things I went through, and watching loved ones suffer, and you know, you still, at the end of the day, it was the kids I was working with. It was the kids who transformed my art, because they they were going through something I can't even comprehend, and their families, don't know what the outcome is going to be, and yet they find joy in every moment, and it just bled into me somehow,
And that creates like what's called resilience, right? Like
Yeah.
resilience, and then of course like love for art, but love for the kids, right? Which is like what you I think like now understanding more, right? Is what is your formation actually, right? So you're very I guess like you said the blend of between people in critical care, right? Kids, critical care, right? Family, the art, and the transformation in El Paso, right? Like putting everything, and that's the mesh that basically shows into your art, right? Like, but the most significant part is like you want to bring joy to
yeah. Well,
everybody.
and the act of making the art, like across the table with somebody, like with these paint-alongs that we've done,
Right.
the conversations that happen, and the lifting up of each other, and the sharing, and like it's all I am is the place. I'm the place to go to, and I have the equipment there, and then they make the moments happen, and just so the making of the art becomes just this
Natural.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
An experience, basically.
Right. And I think that's kind of like what lies to, right? Like one thing is, art can be a catharsis, right? Like through the emotions, and and through all this process, right, of the artist going through. And as you said, some parts of you get embedded into the paint, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't want to, probably, right? Like
Yeah.
as you're saying, you look into a painting, it's like, huh, that was 20 years ago. That's strange.
Yeah.
And then you maybe, you say, recall things that like, makes sense.
Yeah.
That red color was,
Yeah.
that bright and those things, right? So what is the most important thing art has taught you about yourself? So if you could think about like the artist you teacher and then what have you learned from it?
Basically, to take time to be meditative in one way or another. Like, no matter what's going on in your day-to-day life, you have to take some time, and maybe it's not art, maybe it's cycling, but to have that meditative time, for me to sit in quiet and talk with God and just be, I think it keeps me healthy.
Art takes its time, right? Like
does.
I think like one of the mistaken, right? A lot of time people is like you can rush art, like you want to like have it done really quickly, right? But I think like as you as an artist, we probably have found out that that is not a process.
Yeah, I'm very slow.
No, perfect. So I guess kind of like closing up, right? If you could describe your art in a single word or phrase, what would be and why?
Whimsy,
Whimsy.
and because it just is.
It is what it is. Okay. Well, again, I wanted to thank you, to having me, and then of course, opening your heart and your mind to these small questions, right? So hopefully we can, go on an interview. So again, if no mistaken, like where people can find your work, Gina, where can they follow you or they can actually collaborate with you in anything, if you want to let anyone know about it.
Artsoupcollective.com. There's a website, and then I have Instagram, Painting with Miss Gina, and Gina Michelle 915.
915. Okay. Well, again, this is another live, right? So I'm going to be doing different lives in it. It's Capturando Voces at Witches on Walls here at the International Museum of Art in El Paso, in collaboration, of course, with Art Soup Collective and Make a Wish El Paso. Stay tuned, and we'll definitely do more into this right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Blessing.
That's the young man I just mentioned that's